Hey guys, it is Armedfro here again. Got another match. This is my new OU standard team. I might make a new one with rain based, but you know what? This is a very fun match against SMP. I wanted to try out Thunderous Therian form, which I just figured out is OU. I just looked it up and I was like, oh my god, really? This guy's OU. He has massive special attack, decent speed, 101 base speed, but I put a scarf on him. He's really good. You should try him out in your matches. But this is versus SMP. He is a very rain-based team, and that Among Us, I might just have to use an Among Us just because of this freaking guy. It is so annoying to the point where all I could do is just let him stay alive with just Among Us. So here we're going to start off. I'm going to lead off with my Mew, which is my Julio, a new lead Mew, which is actually very fun to use, as he's going to go into his Tornadus. I'm going to sell the Stealth Rocks as he does a pretty good chunk with his U-turn and switches into his Landorus, thinking he might KO me with a double U-turn. As I'm actually going to go with the U-turn for myself, even if he does kill my Mew with a crit, I do have switch advantage. So he is going to go for the U-turn, as I'm going to switch into, I'm going to U-turn off his Donphan. I get the crit, which doesn't really matter in the long run, just because of Donphan's epic bulkiness. As I'm going to switch in my Rotom Wash, thinking that, you know what, he might stay in randomly, as I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump as he switches into his Among Us, and sadly the Hydro Pump misses. Which doesn't really matter just because it's going to do like 10%, which he'll regenerate with Regeneration. So I'm going to Volt Switch into my Mew just because just for sleep fodder, just to make this a little easier to take care of, so he's just not putting random guys to sleep. Would have been a lot easier if he went for Giga Drain, because that would have made this match a lot harder, which he probably might have won there. But you know what? I'm going to switch into my Heracross because he might be a dual Spore or a dual status. He actually goes with the Giga Drain, showing that he is not, which is really good for me. Just so I could go for the sub here. I know he's going to switch. It's just anything I can switch, he's going to switch into. I could do a lot of damage to as he switches into his Landorus. I do have Stone Edge, which is really good, just because the Stone Edge is going to do a pretty hefty chunk to this Landorus. Might be able to KO it, as he actually goes Stone Edge for himself, which does has a really high chance to miss, which I decide to stay in here. After the Stone Edge, just go for the sub. If he does miss, okay, I know I could take one Stone Edge and sub up anyways, so if it did miss, it would be just a benefit for me, as he actually decided to switch out here and switch into his Donphan, which I found very interesting, just to the point that he might sell up Stealth Rocks, maybe Rapid Spin, then die, but he goes for a different route. He actually goes for the Ice Shard, which is not going to break my sub at first, just because, I mean, its Ice Shard is non-stabbed. Donphan has decent attack, but not enough to break us up with the Ice Shard. On the second one, however, it does break the sub. And I'm thinking, you know what? He's dead, but because of the leftovers, he is going to live this second close combat, which with a smidget of a life. Just so I'm thinking, you know what? He's going to predict my switch into something, maybe Rotom Wash, and go for the Stealth Rocks. I probably should have gone with my gut. I'm thinking that he's going to go for the Ice Shard again. And he does, which really sucks because I lose my Heracross, which is a big threat to his Among Us. So I'm going to go in my Rotom Wash, go for the Hidden Power Fire, just to KO it. I didn't want to miss my Hydro Pump, and I know Volt Switch is not going to affect it. I know he's not going to switch out. He might try to set up Stealth Rocks there. So I'm going to go with my Volt Switch here and go into my Metagross. This is a new Metagross. This Black Chrome is just so amazing. I love it so much. This is a Trick Iron Ball one. Just so it could be able to 1v1 Rotom Washes. Rotom Wash is a huge threat to Metagross because it can't do jack, but with Iron Ball it will be able to bring it down to the ground and Earthquake and one-hit KO it. So I'm going to go for the trick here. It switches into his Politoed, which is really good for me, just because the Politoed, it can't stall out, it can't leftovers recover after this protects. So all pretty much you could do is Scald, try to burn something, and try to predict. So he's going to go for the Scald as I go into my Rotom Wash. He's not gonna burn. As long as he doesn't burn, I should be fine. He's gonna go for the Protect, saying that I am gonna go for the Volt Switch. I'm thinking, you know what? the worst comes to worst, he can switch into his Landorus, and I could go for the Hydro Pump, KO it. But here I'm going to go with the Volt Switch on the Amoonguss. I'm going to switch into my Metagross again. We do this over and over again. Volt Switch into Metagross, Volt Switch into Metagross. As here, I'm going to go for the Meteor Mash as he switches into his his Jirachi, which is not going to take this Meteor Mash. I thought it was going to take it a lot better than this, but it does a pretty decent chunk to it. So it makes me think that he is a special defensive Rachi, which is good for me because I know I could 2-hit KO with Earthquake. He goes for the Body Slam, doesn't get the Parahax, which is really good for me. The Earthquake, it looks like it is going to be a two-hit KO, as I'm actually going for the Meteor Mash. Here, predicting his switch into his Landorus, predicting an Earthquake, but he goes for the Protect. I'm like, oh, geez. Here we go with Mind Game. So here, I'm going to go for the Earthquake, just because I know he's probably going to stay in, or even if he switches out to his Landorus, a Bullet Punch should be able to KO it. As he actually goes for the Iron Head, which is kind of risky, but it is going to let him go for the Protect again, see what I'm going to do, as I'm actually just go straight for the Earthquake. If he goes for another Iron Head, I have a 40% chance of hitting him and KOing him, and I know I recover more than what he deals. So here, I'm going to predict his switch into his Landorus, predicting my Earthquake, which is a perfect move just because I can hit this Landorus and KO it, and that is just a lot better, a lot easier to take care of just because his Scarfer is gone. So here's going to switch into his Politoed. I'm going to switch into my Rotom Wash just to make this a lot easier. I just really don't want him to burn me. I'm like, no burn, no burn. Oh my god, a crit. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take that crit. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch here. As he goes for the Protect, I'm like, you know what? He's going to switch into his Amoonguss, which is going to be awesome because I'm going to Pain Split, and just because Amoonguss has a fuckload of HP, but he actually stays in and goes for the Scald. Really risky move, but it actually pays off for him because he does get the burn here. I just really don't understand why he actually stayed in for a chance to get a burn. But now this is perfect for him because he's just going to Volt Switch into his Amoonguss, which is a good plan for him just because there's no lose situation there. He's going to go into his Amoonguss. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch. It would be a lot easier if this Amoonguss did not have regeneration ability, but because he switches out every single time, he gets 1/4 of his health back, which brings him up to full HP again, which makes it just an even more annoying thing to take care of. I'm going to go for the Meteor Mash as he switches into his Rachi. I probably should have predicted the Earthquake, predicted this switch and go for the Earthquake, but you know what, that Amoonguss was just annoying the hell out of me, and I really wanted to take it out. So here I'm going to go for the Earthquake. I mean, there's nothing really he could switch into. They'll be immune to it. I can't take it out with Meteor Mash or Bullet Punch. So he's actually going to get the Parahax with the Body Slam, as I'm actually just going to KO this guy. Which, the Parahax is good for me, but it does bite me in the ass later on. He actually going to go for the Politoed. It is good for me because I can't get burned from the Scald, so I know I can take a couple Scalds just to take him out. I probably should have switched in my Rotom Wash here. This is what I really should have done, but I'm thinking, you know what, could take this Scald, take this Politoed out that's annoying, and all he has left is his Tornadus and this Amoonguss. So this is good for me, right? He's going to switch into his Tornadus, and then I'm going to use my Rotom Wash as Death Fodder just to see what he's going to do. He's going to go for the Superpower, and I'm thinking, oh, great, lovely. Right now, perfect chance to send in my Thunderous Therian form, go for the Hidden Power Ice, just sweep the rest of his team as I go for the Hidden Power, and it's dark. I mean, it's not going to kill. He's going to go for the U-turn. He thought he was faster. That was a perfect chance for me to kill him, but sadly, I missabbed him, so he has Hidden Power Dark instead of the Hidden Power Ice. So, here, I'm actually going to switch the hell out of here, go into my Metagross, as he goes for the Hidden Power Ice. I probably could have taken it if I did have Hidden Power Ice, and this was his last guy. I would have just taken my Thunderous down and just try to kill him as fast as possible. He's going to go for the Giga Drain, gets the crit, gets the Parahax, which really sucks, because this Meteor Mash is not even going to do 50%. I do live with minuscule HP, go for the Meteor Mash. It does like 40%, but I do get the attack increase. So I'm like, okay, if I live one more Giga Drain, I could KO this guy, hopefully. even if I don't, I can just switch into something else and KO it there. But he's going to go for the Giga Drain, and sadly, that's going to KO my Metagross. And all I have left is my Harmony, my Mew, my Sleeping Mew, and my Thundurus. So here is a moment of truth. I have to go for the Hidden Power Ice, try to KO this thing, as the Giga Drain is going to do about maybe 55%, but it is not going to recover enough, so he's going to live into the Hidden Power Ice. Even if he switches into his Tornadus, it's just going to KO him, and he can't really do that much. So my Thundurus Therian form, at least not KO it with 2 Hidden Power Ices. So here, all he has left is Tornadus. I'm going to switch into my Mew as Death Fodder just because Harmony has been a good little boy to me, and sadly it freezes here. Yeah, it freezes, but all I'm pretty much going to do is switch into my Thundurus Therian form. It does unfreeze after a little bit, but all I'm going to do is switch into my Thundurus Therian form, go for the Volt Switch, kill him, kill the Tornadus. I'm out. I outspeed it easily. So that's going to be a very good game. SMP. Check out my channel. More vids on my channel coming up. Thanks for watching, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and as always, stay classy, guys.